Zohran Mamdani is rising fast in New York City politics, not quietly, but with a bold, aggressive vision that promises to reshape life for working New Yorkers. Meanwhile, across the national stage, Donald Trump remains a powerful force, shaping conversations about power, the economy, and America's role in the world. This isn't just a comparison between two political figures. It's a clash of two completely different futures for America. Mamdani's vision for NYC. Zohran Mamdani has stepped into the spotlight with a plan that aims directly at the heart of New York's biggest problems: rent, childcare, transportation, and the cost of simply existing in the city. One of his biggest promises is a 4-year freeze on rent for nearly 1 million rent-stabilized apartments. His message is simple: if people can't afford to live here, the city stops being a city. But landlords and the real estate industry are furious. They warn that such a freeze could scare investors away and reduce new development. Still, Mamdani isn't backing down. To fund his agenda, he wants higher taxes on millionaires and corporations, a 2% surtax on incomes above $1 million, plus additional corporate taxes. His philosophy is clear: those who have the most should contribute the most. Next, he's pushing for universal childcare for all children under 5. He argues that childcare isn't just a family issue, it's an economic lifeline. When parents don't have affordable childcare, they can't work, they can't earn, and the entire economy suffers. Another major part of his plan: fare-free buses across all 5 boroughs. Yes, buses that cost nothing. He believes free public transit will save families thousands of dollars and make the city more accessible for everyone. To show how his policies could help, he launched an affordability calculator, a tool that lets families estimate exactly how much money they would save under his proposals. According to his projections, a family that rides the bus daily and has 2 young children could save tens of thousands of dollars every year. He's also suggested creating city-owned grocery stores to cut down food costs. In his view, food prices should not be controlled solely by profit-driven companies. Of course, the pushback is intense. Real estate developers, landlords, and some business groups claim his policies could hurt investment and slow the economy. But despite the criticism, Mamdani's movement is growing. Tenant groups, working-class families, and young progressives see him as a different kind of politician, someone willing to use power, not just talk about it. For many, he represents a generational shift, a future where politics isn't about protecting wealth, but about protecting people. Trump's 2025 moves and influence. While Mamdani focuses on rebuilding New York City, Donald Trump continues to reshape the national conversation and often the global one. In 2025, Trump is pushing a mix of aggressive foreign policy ideas, hardline domestic strategies, and a new wave of media-driven political theater. One of his most controversial proposals involves taking direct control of the Gaza Strip, a move that has triggered massive international debate about ethics, legality, and America's role in foreign conflicts. Domestically, Trump is using political pressure moments like budget standoffs to reinforce his message that a government shutdown is a useful tool for forcing big changes. His supporters call it strength. His critics call it destabilizing. Trump's digital messaging is becoming even more dramatic. During nationwide protests called No King's Day, he posted an AI-generated video showing himself as a king flying a jet and mocking protesters below. To his base, it was entertainment. To others, it was deeply alarming. His administration also escalated military operations abroad, including strikes targeting drug cartel operations. Trump frames these actions as necessary for national security and restoring American power. All of this shows one thing: Donald Trump isn't fading away. He is actively shaping a new era of nationalist, populist politics, combining military force, media spectacle, and an unshakable belief in his own leadership. The clash, Mamdani versus Trump. When you put these two figures side by side, the contrast is almost cinematic. Mamdani, grassroots, local, focused on tenants, workers, families. A vision centered on affordability, public services, and equity. Trump, national and global populist, focused on strength, confrontation, and identity. A vision centered on power, dominance, and control. Mamdani is trying to transform daily life in America's biggest city. Trump is trying to redefine America's role on the world stage. Mamdani's fight is for housing, buses, groceries, childcare, the everyday struggles of ordinary people. Trump's fight is for borders, foreign policy, military power, and national identity. This is not just a political difference. It's an ideological war. One vision builds society from the ground up. The other reshapes society from the top down. Why this battle matters for millions of Americans. Watching Mamdani and Trump play out their narratives is like watching two different Americas emerge. One America believes in community, care, and public support. The other believes in strength, pressure, and confrontation. If Mamdani's ideas succeed, New York could become the model of a new progressive era, a city where families can afford to live, work, and grow without being crushed by the cost of survival. If Trump's approach wins, America could shift into a more aggressive, nationalist direction, powerful, assertive, and unapologetically confrontational. So what future do you see? A city where buses are free, rent is stable, and daily life is affordable? Or a country where power, dominance, and force define national identity? Because this is not just a story of two men. It's a fight for the soul of America, and the path the country chooses next will shape the world for decades to come.